Hello and welcome everyone to Blood on the Bayou, our second circuit series here. At the adventure begins. We are in round 2, and we have Jesus on Arakni, slip through the cracks, and Justin on Aurora. And I am joined today by Charles. How are you doing, Charles?
Oh, it's going fantastic. This event is sure to be a lively one, as we were seeing all sorts of different aggro decks coming through across the day. Of course, this matchup being two, I would say, very good aggro decks. Of course, Aurora being the premier deck for this event and for the meta at the moment. And Arakni, kind of a dark horse pick, has a lot of evasive on the go again, a lot of reactions. It has the Kiss of Death kind of combo lines. It's a very tricky deck to play against. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, I think this is kind of one of those things where you have the best deck in the format with Aurora that you know what they're going to do. Unless you are, I don't know. You know what they're going to do. They're coming out with 0 for 4s. They're going to send a bunch of physical damage, a little bit of arcane sprinkled into there. And it's kind of on the onus of Slippy to disrupt them, slow them down a little bit, while also doing their game plan of trying to move quickly. I think that you are correct that Slippy is one of the most aggressive assassins that we have. Just every turn trying to keep as many cards as they can, and it's really difficult to block. Because their stealth cards having go again, you're not sure if the reactions are coming on chain link 1 or 2, or maybe even both. So I'm not really sure. I think that, again, I think it really is that Aurora is asking all the questions, and Slippy has to have an answer to all of them.
That makes a lot of sense, and since Arakni is a very aggressive deck, I don't expect to see very many blues in a deck that just wants to go, head jab into head jab with a couple reactions sprinkled around. So do you think that Jesus is going to bring in Arcane Barrier? Or do you think that he's just going to try to be as aggressive as possible into this Aurora?
I think from my experience, which I don't have a lot of it, but I would say that if you're running these pretty red line lists that are trying to be aggressive and not take these games super long, you just say, you know what, you're gonna do some arcane damage off, randomly to me. I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna block the physical and get the value out of my cards that I can. Get the 3 block out of them and not be pitching reds or yellows. I think that's definitely get the value out of your equipment and don't just bring in Arcane Barrier because you may see some arcane damage. What do you think about that?
I think that's a fair assumption. I know a lot of assassins will bring in like the Taurus, the chest piece, or maybe an arm or leg piece that has the Spell Void plus the Arcane to help kind of just stem some of the bleeding. Of course, with Jesus, we don't know. Maybe he wants to kind of put into plan that he can use the daggers for value. I know we've seen some assassins, with the Saber Bloodsheds, with the Upsticks and Run, kind of have access to, or I guess Upsticks and Run, not in that case. But have access to these dagger buffs that they can use, and it'll be interesting to see if Jesus wants to utilize that route as well as the disruption on his side, rather than just straight, 0 for 3, 0 for 4.
We shall see what kind of style Jesus is on here. We have Justin, who is a Houston native, known for his some mechanologist play with our Supercell mat coming out here. It's a very pretty mat. So has been playing mechanologist for a long time, branching out into a few things here and there. Jesus, a known aggro player, has been playing Phi for a long time and now has switched over to Syndra with her coming out. But today, showing Arakni. So 2 players that are no stranger to playing aggressive decks. We'll see how they can do into how they pair up against each other here. But both of them very good players here in our Houston scene.
Yeah, and right before this game gets started, let's talk about equipment options. Of course, we know that Aurora has access to both the kind of aggro game plan or the combo game plan. Do you think that he just wants to go through the combo, knowing that Arakni slip through the cracks is kind of the least disruptive out of all the assassins? Or do you think he just wants to go for, go as fast as possible, bring in all of his blocking equipment, and just like shore up his life total in that case?
I mean, if I'm sitting in the Aurora seat, I'm just gonna say no. I don't want a combo, because I'm just too. I just Leave No Witnesses is such a good card, and it's just 0 for 4, and then you can codex it back. But we do see flipped up here. It is not going to be a straight combo, as there is Crown of Providence here on Justin's side. You were correct that we have the spell, is it Spider Web? Spider something?
It's the Widow Veil Respirator.
There you go. Widow Veil for the Arcane Barrier and Spell Void. But let's get into this turn as Justin is throwing haymakers here. Throws out the Starfall with the Channel Lightning Valley, Electromagnetic Somersault after the Starfall, plays the Flittering Charge, bounces it back, and then throws the Flittering Charge again, and able to get the draw after Jesus blocking it out, keeping one card in hand. Jesus saying, "You know what? It's fine. You can go ahead and have some of your damage."
Yeah, and this is a very strong turn from Justin. Leaking 4 damage through, able to draw a card and fill his arsenal. And Jesus is not even going to get the value off of that all you got, since this is turn 0 and he would be drawing up to his hand anyway.
All right, so let's see if he can clap back here. Hopefully we get the life totals updated here pretty quickly. Leading in with the Art of Desire Body. Is it Body? That's Body, right?
It is Art of Desire Body. It's going to be 3 with Go Again thanks to Arakni's hero ability. Is looking to banish the top card of the deck, and if it is red, which Aurora has plenty of, Jesus will gain a life and draw another card.
So maybe seeing if he can try and recover some of the life that he lost here at the beginning of the game. Was able to get a Kiss of Death. Oh, Shred coming out to react on top of that. Was able to get a Kiss of Death into the graveyard though. Oh man, I can't think of that reaction right now.
The Take Up the Mantle?
Take Up the Mantle, yes. Charles, you're saving me right now. I appreciate it.
So it looks like Jesus drew a Codex of Frailty off the top there. Don't know if he wants to go ahead and play it, as we are seeing the Hunter's Clave get pitched here. Hunter's Clave being an interesting card. Of course, Arakni Slip Through the Cracks doesn't care about being marked as much in terms of wanting to change into those Demi heroes that Marionette likes to do. And he's also not running the Mask of Deceit to change into any hero, as he is having the Arcane Barrier. So this is definitely an interesting dagger for this matchup.
Probably still running some of the reactions that care about on Mark, as we see here with the Savor Bloodshed coming out.
Ooh, and it's going to be that Savor Bloodshed into the Codex of Frailty. We know a Kiss of Death was put in there on turn 0. And if the Kiss of Death does hit, Jesus will be drawing another card, and he has the Snapjack Scalers for this case.
Going to Sin, like you said, Kiss of Death. This is such a nasty combo here. So coming in for 7 on hit, draw a card. And then there's the additional of when Kiss of Death hits, take another health. So it's actually 8 that comes in here.
Yeah, and if Jesus wants to take the gamble, he can Snaps, give this Go Again, draw the card, and if it's another attack or something to pitch into the Hunter's Clave, he could flick that Kiss of Death as well. But it looks like Jesus is not going to risk it, just going to take the safe line. He will draw the card, and then the Ponder will draw him another card, but he gets the option of choosing what he wants to arsenal for the turn.
Looks like he may be rewarded for that. Looks like he may have picked up a sink below.
And it looks like that does go to the arsenal.
Resolving his Ponder and passing back over here to Justin. 28 playing 35. Justin with 3 cards in hand plus an arsenal in Channel Lightning Valley on the board. And going to lead off.
Now, I think Jesus drew another sink below in his hand. So while Justin wants to throw these 0 for 4s, Jesus can also defend 0 for 4. So unless Justin has some kind of trick like a lightning press, his turn is going to get pretty stuffed out.
Coming in with the Skyward Serenade to get his Skizix and another embodiment here.
Yeah, this card, Skyward Serenade from the Aurora Armory deck, just seeing so much play for being very versatile. Not only is it always just going to be a 0 for 4, but on turns like Arc Lightning or even with Flicker Wisp, it's just an extra source of go again to push extra damage.
A very, very good card indeed. Skizik's going to come in here for another 0 for 4. See how much. I think Jesus is going to try and respect all this. He has. Was that a Leave No Witnesses or a Saber Bloodshed that was in hand? Does have the sink
I think
below.
that was a Leave No Witnesses, so even if he has to block out, he still has a good 1-card play. Although there is a lot of armor on the side of Justin.
Classic Rune Blade Fridge over here. Followed up by the Entwine Lightning. Did he fuse it?
I don't believe so. I think the last card in his hand is going to be that Flicker Wisp. Justin looking to arsenal that for the next turn.
Still respecting it and blocking out and preserving as much life as he can. I think, like you mentioned, Jesus is like, well, I have a good 1-card play in the Leave No Witnesses.
And if I'm not mistaken, Justin drew an Arc Lightning. Either that's an Arc Lightning or another Skyward Serenade. I can't quite see, but if that is the Arc Lightning, then he drew a natural Flicker Arc, with that Flicker being an arsenal. So Justin really thinking about pushing the armor block here.
It really looks like the first card in his hand is a Burn-Up Shock. Just because the card's turning sideways. We will see what he wants to block here. Oh, because...
It looks like it's just going to be the block off the Dyadic and the Grasp of the Arcanite going to cover that up. And it was the Arc Lightning.
It was the Arc Lightning. I actually thought he was running the Aether Iron Weave at the beginning, so I was very confused as to why he was blocking 3, but definitely Dyadic. And there is the Burnout Shock with the Flicker Wisp. Oh, man, and the Arc Lightning.
Justin just wanting to push max damage for this turn. He could have ordered the Flicker Wisp first to allow the Arc Lightnings go again to one of the snatches, instead deciding to order the Flicker Wisp second just to make use of the extra arcane off of Burn Up Shock as well.
So feeling like he has enough go up, and oh yeah, gonna pitch one of the snatches to be able to get the 2/2 Rosetta Thorn at home off the Starfall. Jesus not pitching to any of the arcane here, just saying send me the bill for that, and here comes the snatch. 4 on hit, take another 5.
Yeah, I'm sure Justin would have loved to have had Snapdragon Scalers at this point in time, having 2 snatches in hand and no go again on either of them. If he was able to throw snatch into snatch, this turn would have been looking very good. Instead, just Starfall into Snatch. Of course, a lot of power cards used to fuel this turn, but not a lot of the offensive for that burn-up shock.
Still asking for a couple of cards out of here. Jesus not with any equipment that he wants to block with anytime soon.
Yeah, the Assassin deck has a whole 2 block on equipment.
Oh, he's gonna do it. He's putting in the Tunic early.
And that just means that Jesus' hand must be very good. Whatever those last 2 cards are. It looks like it's just E-Strike.
E-Strike,
giving up
draw a
the
card,
whole
get back
Tunic.
on Arsenal.
The whole Tunic just to draw a card off E-Strike. What do you think about that play?
You know, I would say that my discipline would be to try and keep the Tunic around as long as possible until the game is over, to try and get the value out of it. I don't think that he's gotten any Tunic counters on it. It was literally just Blade Break 1. That was it. So
yeah, having to lose the Tunic before you can even activate it is definitely not what you want to see in this kind of matchup. And that Sigil of Suffering going to be dealing 1 damage to Jesus, decides he wants to keep that arsenal. And it's just going to be 4 Go Again coming out from Justin.
Starting the train again with 2 more cards left in hand. There's an Arc Lightning getting pitched for the channel lightning,
or for the Aurora
the embodiment of lightning. He picks up another Sigil of Suffering.
You know, 1 arcane point of damage from Sigil of Suffering gets covered up very nicely by a Tunic counter. But unfortunately, no more Tunic for Jesus.
So Jesus trying to decide here he has 2 of those.
Take up the mantles.
Take up the 2 of the take up the mantles in hand. But Justin not marked, so not getting the extra value out of it. Just going to put the boots in front of it.
Able to just mark at instant speed in the reaction step.
There he goes. He gets the easy mark. Then going to put down 1 take up the mantle. See
going to
what
be
he
interesting to
picks out
see.
of here.
I believe he'll pick the Kiss of Death. He will have Go Again on this attack, although he has already used the Flick Knives for the turn, so could not get the bonus effect off Kiss of Death in that case. Instead, just using the Take Up the Mantle for the +3 buff.
Sigil Suffering coming in, getting the full 5 value out of it. Going to take up the mantle again, push it. Maybe this time he selects a stealth card.
Jesus really having to think about it. If he had a Bonds of Agony in the graveyard, that would be online. So if he was able to switch into it, it would be huge here. But it looks like he's just looking for potentially the Art of Desired Body. Maybe drawing an additional card on the turn, just trying to go a little bit wider. Or maybe just wants to push this on hit.
I think that's a really good call. The Art of Desire is a really good call here. Maybe even get a little bit of life to try and recover and get caught back up together, or get caught back up. So right now this is a +6.
So Justin taking 2. It's going to banish the top card of the deck. It is the Flicker Wisp. And then no yellow, unfortunately, in the hand for Justin. So Jesus only going to be gaining 1 life there. Really would have liked to have banished a card from hand instead.
then the mark coming off. So Jesus IPing 1 there. Not what you want to, not really where you want to be. Justin being a pal here and playing everything just face up, as Jesus knows the entire hand. The Enlightened Strike, Second Strike, and Entwined Lightning coming in. And the
so there is the embodiment. So E-Strike, draw a card, is playable here.
I think that's a good call to go ahead and get the draw on E-Strike, just a free draw from it. The hand's still not super awkward. I forget what's in the arsenal though.
Yeah, whatever it was, he prioritized it over the Arc Lightning, so it must be a very good card in this case.
Looks like he put the second strike to the bottom, so 5 go again, keeping the Entwined Lightning.
Yeah, another cool move about this play is that it's going to be a card that is going to the bottom and a new card drawn. Jesus doesn't know which card was bottomed and which card was drawn. So hiding a little bit of information here, and I think he drew an electromagnetic somersault, which means that Justin is going to be able to bounce this E-Strike back and then play it again for 7.
Instead opting for the Entwined Lightning and giving it go again.
This is just as good. Instead of an E-Strike for 7, this is going to be Entwined Lightning into Entwined Lightning. So this will be for 8 instead. So Justin just trying to maximize as much damage as he can in this case.
Jesus here in a little bit of the grinder is 24 playing 14 here at Blood on the Bayou, our second circuit series at Adventure Begins. Jesus thinking about blocks here, trying to see what kind of offense he can mount up behind that with a definitely looks like he has an art of body in hand, and an infiltrate and a codex. I think I saw. But Twine Lightning, the ask right now, and a Lightning Strike. All right, it is.
Yeah, and Jesus knows there's going to be 4 after this. Everything is face up for the rest of the turn. So there we go. We see Justin playing the somersault and back into the Entwined Lightning. This time not fused, no go again. But it is 4 more damage.
It is going to block it with it. That all you got. Just go ahead and move that out. Save a little bit of life as he is now down to 9. Also going to free up his arsenal for a codex. So that's definitely the move there. Here comes the Art of Desire body.
This, of course, is going to threaten the card draw should it hit, helping to extend the turn out. This has Go Again naturally from Arakni's hero ability.
Aurora is mostly red, so it was definitely interesting that he hit a yellow on one of them, on one of his banishes earlier.
And we're seeing an lightning press in the hand of Justin, I believe with a flittering charge as well. So potentially some good damage coming through to help close the game out.
Again, it's just so hard to block this. It can be difficult to block this and know where you actually should block into these assassins. Justin did guess right there, putting the 3 block on the Art of Desire body, but then it was an Enlightened Strike and into a Codex. And one of the best Codex plays we have coming out in the Leave No Witnesses.
So there's 4 defense left on equipment for Justin should he decide to just shove the whole rest of the fridge in front of it. He could also just go for the flittering charge into lightning press play on the next turn, block with the grasp plus the current funnel. And just get a feel for what Jesus wants to do.
I think that's where I would be. I would definitely be at the current funnel armor block.
Oh no, it wasn't a flittering charge. It was gone in a flash.
Oh, still gonna do the line of blocking with the current funnel and the grasp. Jesus going to ponder in, fill the arsenal, and go to his next turn. 19 playing 9. Justin figuring out what his next move is going to be. Does have a little bit of anti-synergy here with the Gone in the Flash and the Lightning Press. But still can say, hey, this is 7. Oh,
ooh, it's the
who's an Arc Lightning?
So but Justin going to be giving the Gone in a Flash go again. Just trying to get a little extra value out of the turn.
So do you just Lightning Press in after damage and get it back and just throw 4 more? I guess that's actually more damage.
That would be more damage in that case. Just trying to push, maximize the value per turn. Justin could have also has not have arc lightning and just instead thrown the Gone in a Flash for 7 for the turn. Try to maximize the damage there and hope for a larger hand, since the naked Gone in a Flash might have looked scarier than this play right now.
But instead opting for the 8 physical and 1, 2 arcane. So a 10 total instead of 7. And coming in split, which makes it even more difficult to deal with.
Yeah, Jesus, not a whole lot of blues in the deck. Even though he does have the Arcane Barrier to stop it, does not want to pitch 1 or 2 cards for it. So this play just leaks a little bit more damage.
Jesus lining up a block with the Kiss of Death. Not seeing any of those hit the combat chain except as blocking cards this game.
Yeah, and it's a little unfortunate for Jesus' side because that is a card that you really want to play around because you have a lot of options, especially when it comes to toxicity or spike with blood rot plus the flick knives. And the fact that he's not able to line up any of these plays or any of these turns and instead just having to block with a Kiss of Death means that he's really missing out on a lot of damage.
And the Orb Weaver Spinneret coming in, getting the Calicera. Just going to swing the Clave with the Calicera probably to follow up.
This is one of the coolest things I find about Slip Through the Cracks is because the Graphene Calicera has stealth, and since Arakni just gives the first attack with stealth go again, you're able, basically you have a 1-for-1 go again, which is a slightly better 2-for-1 that the other traditional assassin daggers have. But it's just an option that a 1 blue can do at least something, and the Graphene Calicera will always have go again on turns that maybe you don't draw all stealth attacks.
Able to get the Clave out to get a mark, and then come in with Mark of the Black Widow. So here we are with the Disruption that we were talking about earlier. No cards that threaten any reactions except for the... I mean, there's nothing that Jesus has left to kind of pump here, but asking for at least a card from... I guess he could have shoved all equipment from it. But Justin just going to take the 3 and banish...
the Electrostatic Discharge.
Electrostatic Discharge, that's right.
Now, Justin did have 2 of those in the hand, so not only are they no blocks that want Justin to not defend, but even having 2, and of course Justin having an enormous life lead in this case, deciding to just take the damage and take the banish.
So Gone in a Flash coming in here with no go again.
We're seeing the Lightning Greaves get popped here to play the other Electrostatic Discharge. This is going to have go again, allowing the Gone in a Flash to be played again, but is also going to fuel the rest of the turn allowing the Starfall to be played as well.
So we talked about earlier having Snapdragons versus the Lightning Greaves. The Snapdragons earlier would have been Snatch into Snatch, and here the Greaves are going to give us a Gone in a Flash into a Starfall into a Gone in a Flash for 7. So looks like he did get a little more value and was able to block with the Greaves. So is getting a little bit more value out of the Greaves here as opposed to the Snapdragon Scalers.
Yeah, now the damage is really getting piled on. Jesus at 4, facing down the Starfall. He knows exactly what is coming next in the chain link. So defending for 3 on this 2 attack could mean that you're leaking extra damage on the Gone in a Flash itself. So having to make the tough decision on taking the 2 and falling to 2 in order to fully cover up the Gone in a Flash, or leaking 1 or 2 points of damage on the Gone in a Flash itself.
Does have that all you got to cover it up, so we'll have at least a card for something going to his next turn. Taking the 1, drawing off the that all you got.
It looks like it was a Bonds of Agony as the draw, not 3 reactions in the equipment zone to turn it online, but it is a blue to be able to attack with both daggers.
Could have. This is where the what's that reaction mask?
The Mask of Perdition.
Mask of Perdition.
But it looks like it's going to be a burn up
play.
It's going to be a burn up shock here coming out from Justin. And I also saw a Lightning Press. So the Lightning Press could just end the game at this point in time.
Lightning Press. Does Jesus have the reaction?
Jesus pondering it, and that is the fist bump. That is the game.
Gonna scoop it up. Jesus here falling down. Arakni slipped through the cracks, falling to Aurora. Best deck in the format, showing why she is best deck in the format. So just lots of damage coming out. Jesus not able to find the disruption he needs, not able to play around the power card that is like Kiss of Death either. So kind of a rough go at it. But we'll see Justin and see how he does throughout the rest of the day here. Any other final thoughts you got on this, Charles?
I think this game was just played to its conclusion in glorious fashion. Of course, Aurora able to do exactly what she wanted to do. Arakni finding a couple turns to try to push advantage, but yet just falling slightly short. So we'll see how these two players progress as the day goes on. Thank you all for joining us for this round of Flesh and Blood.